1990, Bride of Re-Animator. Summary for this film: Doctors Herbert West and Dan Cain discover the secret to creating human life and proceed to create a perfect woman from dead tissue. Directed by Brian Yuzna. Bringing him back.
Say it with confidence.
The first one.
You'll know him from Society, Return of the Living Dead 3, The Dentist, etc., etc. This is written by Rick Fry, who wrote Society, Woody Keith and Brian Yuzna, with, of course, a character credit going to the wonderfully racist H.P. Lovecraft. Do you have anything on this, Jason?
Tagline: Date, mate, reanimate. That's horrible. That's horrible.
They could have done so much better.
Yeah, distributed in 50th Street Films, out on Blu-ray through Arrow. Again in 2016, they actually released this one before they did Reanimator, and I believe this one's out of print too. So
it is.
Yeah.
This movie I had a lot of expectations out of because Society is so great. I don't know. I like Society a lot, and Screaming Mad George did the effects on this also. So he coming right off the same. It's like the same crew coming right off of that. And there is some stuff I like about this, but I'll tell you what, it was kind of a disappointment. I love the scene where Herbert hooks all the severed fingers up to that eyeball. And it's like a weird homunculus thing. It looked good. It was like stop motion or something. I mean, it looked great.
Super smooth.
I hate the fucking police detective guy. He does. I don't see him. He's not a believable cop. He doesn't ever have a warrant. He just fucking comes in. Like he's just loosey goosey and fucking terrible. I don't like him at all.
Really, Barney Fife alone.
And it's funny that I noticed when we were watching this that in both this and the first one, you have three different levels of mad scientist, because you have Dan, who's like the least crazy. He's just really dumb and easy to manipulate. He's kind of interested in it. And then you have Herbert, who's, he's the normal level of mad scientist, like your Dr. Frankenstein. And then you have David Gale's Dr. Hill, who's just really the bad guy. I mean, even though he's the victim of a murder and reanimation, he's the bad guy. There's not really a good, character. They're all bad people. There's a dog with a human arm in this movie. That's something I've never seen.
Yeah.
The scene's like he says, you're better off without her. And then she runs away with this girl runs away. And I felt like the next sentence was going to be like, we got a dog with a arm now. So that's the thing. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
he can bring you a beer, like, literally
can't help in the lab.
Like I said, this movie is for me much worse than the original film. Everything was so damn goofy. David Gale's head flying around with bat wings is jumping the fucking shark. I mean, it doesn't even look good, I don't think. I give this a 6 out of 10. Most of that goes to Jeffrey Combs.
Who are you?
You like that bat thing floating around? I'm gonna pull it up. Hang on, Jason. I'm gonna pull it up. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this because I want you to explain how this is good.
What did you do with my friend?
It's not a bad score.
Who do you think you are?
It's not.
He's reanimated.
It's not a bad score. 6 is a decent, reasonable score. I feel.
Hey, it is.
Wait,
I would.
it was
I would
7. Now
agree
you're giving it a 6.
I would agree.
I give it a 6?
6 is a reasonable score from anyone. I'm just saying. I expected you, knowing your taste, to love this movie. So I don't know who you are.
This is not what I want out of Reanimator. No.
Okay.
Now
you don't have to. I mean, you can play a bat if you want. I don't have a problem with the head and the bat wings, to be honest. Which I can't believe that you do.
First of all, I don't like bats. Get him out of here. I don't need them. I don't like him in video games. I don't like him in movies. They always look bad. They never look good. And if you attach the wings to a head in 1990, let's take a look at this. We're going to look at it. just so you can. I want you to explain to me how it's a good.
I didn't
thing.
do it.
I know, but yeah,
I didn't make this.
like this. This thing. What is that? Are we watching Nickelodeon? What is this?
I didn't do it. I don't mind it though. I don't mind. Look at. I don't mind it. I don't mind none of this.
Is good. That is good. I like this. But the bat.
Oh yeah, dude.
The bat. I'm just saying.
I mean, I guess.
That's all I'm saying, man. And I don't have I give it a 6. 6 is a reasonable.
Okay.
6 is a reasonable score. I mean, this is right there with some of the basket case movies. Like something like that. I don't know. It's not Reanimator level, but
basket case are good movies.
I like them, but they're usually 6, 7 around there, something like that. That's where this lays for me. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. What do you think, Jason? Give it up.
I think it's a great sequel. I think it's one of the best sequels. It's fun. It's weird. It's over the top. Again, great cast. They brought back Combs and Abbott and Gale. Again, same music. Just there's a lot of things that feels familiar about this movie at the first. The effects are great, and then some are pretty silly with with the hand and the eyeballs and stuff. I don't mind it. I don't mind the head flapping around at the end either. The last act of this movie is near perfect. There's a huge payoff at the end. I think this is Brian Yuzna at his best, perhaps. I gave it an 8.
Right on. Who's up next? John Paul?
All right. So, like I said, I love this series, but this is probably my least favorite also of the series. I mean, I will still score it an 8, but in my opinion...
You really love this series.
Yeah. The worst part of this movie is the bride herself. And I'm glad it was such a short scene.
For sure. Oh, and I do want to say, don't the bride look like a dead Gina Davis? Don't I look like Gina Davis?
Look like a dude.
That's all I could see was Gina Davis walking around.
And I mean, I'm a fan of Trauma. And this borderlines a lot of Trauma, but with better effects because,
the way you just described it does not sound like something Frank would like.
I see what you're
movie
saying.
with better, I can't believe you scored it so low.
Trauma has a specific funky cheese quality to it.
Yes, it does.
I get it.
And this doesn't quite have that.
I know. I'm just.
This has a Return of the Living Dead Part 3 vibe to it, for sure.
Well, that's
the Yuzna there.
yeah. You can't go wrong there.
But again,
it's a 6.
For me, definitely the bride itself. Though I will tell you a funny story. First time I watched this, I saw it on the date. I think I was 14.
Nice.
And
got laid afterwards, of course.
We went and saw this movie, and we leave.
She was in the mood.
She was going to get picked up by her parents, but first she wanted to come and hang out at my house because that was the original plan. But then when I said, "How awesome was that bat?" She was like, "I'm going to call my mom now. I need to go home." And she dumped me 2 days later.
Oh,
yeah.
So you like the bat?
That does not reflect my score. But come on, I even got the bat hair going right now.
He likes the bat.
Like I said, all the effects are so badass, but the ending just seemed like they just kind of like, okay, we forgot that this is called Bride of Re-Animator. Let's quickly throw the bride in, and it was just like, oh, kind of.
I love it.
That's what killed it for me.
I think it's a formula. They develop a formula at this point where the end has to be. Crazy
both is like you just go crazy at the end.
Mm.
Yeah,
but again, I also feel that this movie was like, hey, let's take some of the stuff from Society because we already made it, and let's throw it in this movie, and they did. Because I swear I saw the ass face in this movie.
Yeah, something like that. Definitely.
Just recolored.
So What was your score, Jean Paul? Did you score this?
It's 7.5.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it went down. Went down
a half.
I'm just thinking about it more, and I dropped it. Yes. It made me think about my pain of getting dumped.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh,
Forgot to go by
What's
that.
happening?
It's still an 8.5. I'm fucking.
Yeah.
COVID's got everyone's
it's
brain
still
scrambled.
The eyeball thing is one of the coolest effects ever in a movie. I mean, it's better than Evil Dead's hand.
I would say so, yeah.
You know,
it would be cool to have it like a little remote control version of that, like just a little toy. I would love that.
I mean, it's so much so that there is a weird homage in one of the Spy Kids movies to that creature.
Really?
So
I'll have to take your word for it because I don't watch shit.
I'm the only one that watches shit under the sun.
I did watch what's that one? Lava Girl and Shark Boy or whatever.
I have seen it. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but who hasn't talked about this yet?
Ray and John.
Yeah, John.
Go ahead, Ray.
I'll just go ahead.
Go get her, Ray.
I'll enter in and say I agree with Jean Paul to a point. This isn't the best of the trilogy, in my opinion. The Bride is like build up, and then they're just kind of like, "Hey, here's this." I didn't have that big a problem with the head at first, but the more I thought about it, I was like, "It is kind of fucking stupid." It's kind of dumb, but there was so much crazy shit happening at the end. I'm with Jason that I was just enamored with all of it. I'm like, is that two guys sewn together? What the fuck is this now?
Yeah, you just sit back and go with it. Just ride it.
And I love that doctor, how crazy he is. I mean, he's floating around screaming, and it's just nuts. Yeah. The payoff for me for the ending though is when it all comes crashing down, because it's like, this is too crazy to have anything else happen. Fuck it. But I loved it. I love the actors in this movie. The special effects were good. I wish the Bride would have had a bigger part. Now I'm going to always think of Gina Davis. Thank you for that. I give it an 8 out of 10.
It's so funny. Talking about the Bride, it seemed like there was so much build up around her. And it was like, she's going to be so great. She's going to be awesome. She's so great. That's the woman you love. And then as soon as they brought her back to life, and she was like, you don't love me? Like, and they're like, oh God, she has feelings. Kill her. And
the legs of a stripper.
Anyways, John, what do you think about this one?
I gave it a 10. I love this movie. And I only saw it recently. Yeah, no, like I used to do reviews for Arrow, and this was one of the ones I got to review before it released. And I watched the uncut version. Is like, Jason, whatever copy of Reanimator you have that gets grainy when they intersect and intersplice the deleted stuff. The uncut version does that, but I don't mind it because it shows a lot more of the Bride like falling apart and like tearing herself apart. I loved the Bride. I'm a huge Bride of Frankenstein fan. I thought her performance, the stiffness of it, like she even did like as best as she could, like ballerina with stuff. Like she walked on her toes and stuff the best she could, for the actress. I mean, she was a tragic character.
Yeah, when she pulled her heart out, I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it had his girl's heart, and then he hooked up with was it Fabiana Udenio? I mean,
Hottie McHots.
From Summer School. Oh my God.
Yeah.
She was awesome. She's like an 80s dream girl. Dr. Hill is a bat. Whatever. It wasn't there that long.
Whatever.
Look at it
like Liam Lynch said, whatever. You know, who cares?
Like anytime you see a dick in a movie, you're just like, nah. I guess it was.
Yeah, whatever. There's your dick. Moving on.
Guess he wasn't Jewish.
I thought this was one of like Combs' best performances of his career. Was in this film because
he's very good.
It's like you thought Reanimator was fucking crazy. Well, wait for Bride of Re-Animator. Dun dun dun. You know, like this kicked it up a big notch. Like little eyeball hand, awesome. Then all the freaks coming out at the end through the walls.
That's what I'm saying.
That was creepy as shit.
Yeah,
that was like that dude in Freaks crawling under the wagon in the
covered wagon.
That was creepy as shit. He has the knife in his mouth and stuff. Like it reminded me of that for some reason. Like this was a great film. Like it's a 10. It's the best of the series for me. This is The Empire Strikes Back. This is a good one.
I'll tell you what, though, these guys lose more labs than Walter White. It's crazy. They're always like fucking needing a new lab, and they always gotta fucking find a new place to,